disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partners, Mike Gibbs and Joe Hartley. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
Also, this week, we have a special guest in the building. We got Greg Hartley here with us. What's up, man?
How's it going, man?
All right. If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Internet Network. On Mondays, you got Raw with Mimi and Lump. Tuesdays is CTE with Chris, Los, and Travis. Wednesdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Mike, Joe, and Angel. And on Thursdays, you can get the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Internet Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Fellas, it's showtime. What's going on?
Not much, Gene. Just chilling out this week, getting ready to go back to work. I've been taking care of my daughter for like the last month. She's getting back into the groove of things, so it's my turn to go back to work and get back into the grind.
Man, you had a whole month off from work. This gotta suck knowing that you got to go back to work tomorrow. This can't be good.
But here's the thing, man. My job is not super hard. I mean, it's the midnights is the worst part about it. I do more work here than I do at my job.
Your supervisors do not listen to our show, right?
Maybe one.
You don't want to get any extra work all of a sudden, right?
No, I do all the work I'm supposed to do. I'm just saying. It's
I'm just covering you, man.
It's pretty good.
Mike, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm cool, man. What's been up, man? How was your week? How was your weekend?
I worked yesterday till about 1:30. We had some projects going on at work, nothing major. Today just chilled, did some grocery shopping, bought the kids some clothes, and that's about it, man.
Okay, just a nice relaxing weekend, huh?
That's it.
Okay, all right. Greg, what's up, man?
Not much, man. I've been on 7 days for a while, and this is the first weekend I've had where I get the Sunday off, so I'm enjoying football.
I haven't seen you or talked to you in about 15 years. This is the first time I've seen you in a long time, man. It's been about 15 years.
You had the last tournament I came to for Plowden's a few years back?
I didn't see you.
You did. He just lost half of a person.
No, I was bigger then.
Oh my goodness. Oh man, I really don't remember. I really don't remember seeing or talking to you. And now, when my uncle has his tournament, he normally has it. It's a whole weekend thing, right? And I know a lot of people come to the tournament on Saturday. A lot of people from our past, I normally don't come on Saturday because that is the WKC event, and
yep, that was the day I was there.
Yeah. I'm not a part of the WKC. I don't have students competing for that, so I'm not really there for the WKC. I normally come. I'm either there on that Friday or I'm there that Sunday. I'm typically not there on Saturday.
We usually have students compete on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, so I haven't been there to see the WKC. It's been a minute since I've been there for the qualifier or the championships. All right, I guess I'll continue then.
What's up with you, Gene?
I literally just walked in the house. I just got back from Canada. Just got back in from Windsor. Spent the weekend over there for a change. I haven't been over there since Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, whatever. So I literally just walked in, hooked the computer up, turned on the lights, and got ready. And it was messed up because my computer needs that update. Every now and then you got to update your computer or whatever. And I got ready to do it. I said, you know what? This might be a 30-minute to an hour update, so I'm not going to update it. And I'm looking at myself right now as we're recording, and it's choppy. It's choppy. So I hope my audio is good to you guys.
Oh, everything's fine on our end.
The audio is working pretty good. Yeah.
You don't look like It Man or anything.
That's all good, man. So this week we're talking about Exit Wounds. I always confuse this movie with Half Past Dead. You guys see that movie?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I always confuse this movie with that one. So when you guys suggested it that last week, I thought that was the movie we were going to watch. So when I seen this one before also, because I think I might have even mentioned on the podcast that Ja Rule was in it, and I think Morris Chestnut. I think I might have mentioned that. I don't know. Maybe I was thinking it. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a few podcasts back, but yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah. So, but this movie always reminds me of Half Past Dead, Cradle to the Grave, Romeo
Cradle to the Grave
Die.
is one, yeah.
Well, Romeo Must Die and Cradle to the Grave are by the same people. That's why you see
this one
Anthony
also.
Anderson and Yep.
Yeah, all three of these were the same director, which I didn't know until
very similar
20
movies.
minutes ago. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know until just
What
now.
did you guys think?
I just assumed. I liked it.
What did you guys think of the movie?
This is my favorite Steven Seagal movie. Anthony Anderson and Tom Arnold are hysterical in this movie. I love that aspect of it, especially the ending. Just like Cradle
don't get Mike started.
Bro, Steven Seagal did Above the Law, Hard to Kill, and you like this better than Steven Seagal? Like this is your favorite Steven Seagal movie?
Yes, it's my favorite.
I like Hard to Kill.
It's because of the whole
Hard
movie,
to Kill
not just Steven Seagal.
It's pretty good.
Like we're going Steven Seagal, we go to what was the one on the boat?
Under Siege 2.
Under Siege and Under Siege
1 and 2.
Those would be.
Yeah, 2 was on a train and 1 was on the boat.
I'm with Joe, man. Hard to Kill is good.
I love Hard to Kill.
Very good. I agree.
I mean, this one had a little comic flair to it, so it made it.
That's why I like it. I like the different aspects.
I can understand that.
I enjoy this movie, but when I see Steven Seagal, like I'm looking for more of his Aikido, and he don't use it in this. Not once. They really tried to.
He did his first
wire
work
the biggest
on
hands
it too.
out of anyone I've ever seen in my life.
I know, but they really tried to like make him more modern in this, and that's not Steven Seagal to me. Steven Seagal,
he was getting old.
He's getting the hands going, and
he had 3 years off before the movie.
He was getting old.
That might be why.
He was getting old when he filmed this. Like it wasn't the same Steven Seagal, Hard to Kill Steven Seagal. This Steven Seagal, he's a little bit older, man.
Yeah, I've never been a big Steven Seagal person. You know, back in the day, it was always, who do you like better, Steven Seagal or Van Damme? And I always lean more toward Van Damme than Seagal.
100% agree with you.
I'm a Van Damme guy, but
Van Damme is Daniel LaRusso, man. He's black belt.
Oh no!
Van Damme's only a brown belt.
What?
Really?
Yeah, he's not a black belt.
Really? I never.
I mean, he might have got it or received it, but last I know, he was like, I think he does Shorin-ryu or actually a Japanese style, but he was a brown belt, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't.
And looks like the martial arts gods have now removed Mike from the podcast for talking bad about Van Damme.
That'll teach you to talk about Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Watch him get back on the podcast.
You just got swiped out of existence. Goodbye. See you later.
He's gonna swear up and down one of us did that.
I'm gonna say, like, I love Van Damme back in the day, but the more I watch him, and I mean, he did a lot of cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he did a lot of cheesy movies.
Back in the day, when I watched, I was different when I watched martial arts movies back in the day compared to now. Back in the day, like I just wanted to see some cool stuff. The story really did not matter to me back in the day, but now I'm different and I'm looking for a good story. I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it. When I saw it when it first came out, I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I saw it in theaters. I actually saw it in theaters with Mike. So of all people,
yeah, we all did.
I do remember that.
That was one of the many we went to.
And yeah, we had fun with it. So I still remember it. I haven't watched it in 10, 15 years, and I still remembered it verbatim once I started watching it, which didn't shock me. I usually remember stuff. Yeah, go ahead, Greg. We just speak when we want to on this. It's all good. Did he freeze?
It looked like he froze also.
Oh man, me and you, Gene. All right, Gene, let's go. Let's get started.
All right, there's Greg. He's back. There he is.
This thing wants to keep going on.
I forgot the question I had just asked him.
We were saying, talking about the movie and if you still felt that it held up and, how much you remembered. But you told me the other day you remembered it.
Yeah, I've watched this movie over 100 times. I watched it recently.
Oh, wow.
I watch this almost every time it comes on, when I can find it. I'm just in a mood for comedy and Steven Seagal.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Cool.
It's usually my go-to Steven Seagal, that or Under Siege or Fire Down Below.
Gene, now tell me this. What do you think about DMX as an actor? Because he's been in a few things, but this is one of his bigger roles.
Yeah. I think that it's a shame that DMX could not fight his demons. And
I agree.
Because he did a good job acting in this movie, man. He was. He was really, really gifted, man. Because I did not see a rapper when I watched this movie. A lot of times you can tell when an entertainer gets into a movie and they really a rapper or a singer or whoever, if they really can or can't act, you can really tell. You can tell.
Yeah, T.I. and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. DMX, he seemed like an actor when he was in this movie. He did not seem like a rapper to me. And it's a shame that he did not have the chance to do more movies.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just messed up, man. Go ahead.
They liked the small role he played in Romeo Must Die and decided to give him a bigger role in this movie.
Yeah. Now this one came out after Cradle to the Grave, right?
I believe so.
This was 2001. Came out before Cradle to the Grave.
This one came out before?
Came out afterwards. I think so.
We'd have to look him up.
Okay.
Yeah. If you IMDb it, you find that.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay. All right. So this movie, the story takes place out of all places, our hometown, Detroit. Normally, when movies, television shows, when they say, because it was odd that they selected Detroit for this movie and not show any of the things that make Detroit special.
Because they probably didn't shoot it in Detroit.
No, they didn't. They did not.
Alberta, Canada.
Yeah. This definitely was not Detroit. Normally, but I would have thought they would have still got some B-roll. Either Joe Louis
just
Fist.
Beat me to it. I was going to say they could have got a little bit of B-roll.
Yeah, Joe Louis Fist, Motown, Belle Isle, Hart Plaza, the Renaissance Building. How do you not have the Renaissance Building shown?
Nothing.
There was nothing to show Detroit in the movie.
They just wanted the name.
That's it. I forgot at one point in time the Detroit police cruisers were black. I forgot all about that. It did not last long. It was maybe 3 to 5 years we might have had it, maybe. But I totally forgot that. So when I saw those, I thought those looked a little weird. And then I remembered that we had black cruisers, but they did not look exactly like that. They looked similar, but they weren't exactly like that. Continue. You guys go ahead and talk about what you thought as far as it being Detroit.
As far as it being Detroit, it was interesting to me because I'm like, the issue that the vice president was talking about was not necessarily 100% an issue that might be happening in Detroit. So to me, it was like, or it was a little too on the nose. It was like, I was kind of weighing it back and forth, but I don't think that was the point because what we're getting into, we were really getting into police corruption in this whole movie.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
And they made it a little too obvious, especially right off the get-go here. Like you're telling me Steven Seagal's the only one that's noticing that some of the stuff that's going on that was quite obvious. Like like some of the road stops and the bombs that were being handed to each other on the motorcycles. It was real interesting to me.
So the vice president is in town, and he is giving a speech, and he when he leaves with his convoy, they're attacked by a Michigan militia. This part to me, it was a little shaky to me. Not anything pertaining to do with the movie. I actually had the opportunity a few years ago, well, actually now about 11 years ago, to participate in a convoy for Vice President Biden. I was in his I got to drive in his motorcade, and it was pretty cool. I had all of his chief of staffs, all of his senior advisors. They were all in the van that I was driving, and it was cool. It was all right. It was something that I would never do it again. I really did. I mean, it was cool for just saying I did it. It was a nice experience, but I would never do it again. And then when I realized that the vans were bulletproof, it was like regular Avis vans.
I'd been like, you know what? Just drop me off at the corner.
I definitely wasn't feeling that at all.
Hell no.
Here, so his convoy is attacked. The motorcade is attacked, and the Secret Service tells all of the Detroit police officers to stand down. They're going to handle it. But these guys are getting wiped out.
Yeah.
So Steven Seagal's character, his name is Officer Boyd, Detective Orrin Boyd. He is the only one who goes onto the bridge to assist with the vice president, and he ends up killing all of the militia members. I mean, he got rid of the helicopter and everything. Yeah.
Yep.
And
take care of business.
He ends up throwing the vice president in the water. I'm assuming that's supposed to be the Detroit River.
I love how he doesn't even normally in that situation they say, "Can you swim?" Yeah. He didn't even ask him. He just threw him. And as he's throwing him and he's falling, he goes, I can't swim. Let's hope you figure it out because you're done.
Right. And he's rescued. And the newspapers end up getting a very bad picture of the vice president in the water. And now we have Officer Boyd, or Detective Boyd, is also in hot water now because his superiors are really upset by what he did by not following orders, which
makes no sense to me.
It made no sense. Go ahead.
Yeah, it made no sense to me. He was a hero. Granted, it didn't look pretty on the front page, but he saved his life. That the vice president would have been dead.
Right.
Then what?
That just goes to show you that even back then, when was that movie done? 2001, 2002 or 2001, something like that?
Yeah.
That even back then, the news wants to portray everything in the most negative possible instead of going to the story of Steven Seagal's character being.
Who cares about the news?
Orrin Boyd.
Who cares? His superiors got to look at him and go, "Hey, if he wasn't there, what was the alternate outcome?
You're dead."
Yeah, exactly. You would have thought the vice president would have had something to say to him, like, "Thank you for saving my life."
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you know what? You're right. You're 100% right because. Like, you saved my life. Granted, like I said, it wasn't pretty, but you saved my life because nobody else, all my people were dying. The Secret Service, they didn't have no backup. And then they're saying all the backup for the police to stand down. I mean, come on, man. Maybe he gets a little bit of hot water, gets like scolded, gets a little slap on the wrist, but to just get the book thrown at him, come on, that made no sense to me.
Yeah, go ahead, Greg. Did you have something to say?
Well, the reason why they told all the Detroit cops to stand down because the people that started the whole, militia attack was wearing, the uniform. So
they couldn't
tell who was who, so they could only trust the Secret Service.
Yep. Yeah. So he's in trouble with the chief of police and also his boss, and they end up transferring him to another precinct. And the
his boss, who he's friends with, who he's been friends with for like 20 plus years, they say. And like, he did not seem friendly when he sent him away. He seemed like that threw me off for a minute. Cause I'm like, come on, man, as a friend, you can't at least like help a brother out. Come on.
Yeah. His name was Captain frank Daniels.
We found out later why he really needed him gone.
Right. Well, that's weird because he sent him to the wrong precinct. Then,
Yep.
He sent him to the most to a precinct that's in the roughest area of Detroit, the roughest neighborhood. Just
Yep.
a bad precinct to be in.
Well, I think they were hoping he would like quit or appeal or something. Like I
Or
don't think
get
they
dealt
expected
with
him to
on the
stick it
streets.
out and make some waves.
So when he gets there, he meets his new captain, who's in charge. Do you know this young lady's name? In the movie, because I can't pronounce her last name, and I did not hear how they pronounce her last name.
Honestly, they probably said it once, and I couldn't tell.
I was going to say I don't remember them saying their name more that often, but they
what does it say on the paper, Gene? Give it a try.
It says Annette Mulcahy.
Mulcahy.
It's MULCAHY. MULCAHY.
Mulcahy.
I have no idea. I can't say it. I don't know. It took a
That's supposed to be her
for me, man.
That's supposed to be her character name.
Yeah, Annette, Commander Annette Mulcahy. I guess Mulcahy. I'm assuming. I don't know. I know who would know. The big sushi himself, Jeff Doss. He would know. And when Jeff listens, let us know. You got our group text, man. Yeah, he could tell us.
Well, Wednesday about 8:30, 9 o'clock, we'll find out.
Yeah, exactly. So she is going to possibly put Boyd on desk duty, but he said I can't type. So she has something else in mind for him. She ends up sending him to Ragers Anonymous.
Yep.
This is where we meet Tom Arnold.
That's right. Go ahead, talk about him a little bit. Greg, give us a background on him.
Well, Tom Arnold is a political radio show host, and he is got some issues. He does Rage Anonymous, Rageaholics, or whatever they call themselves. He does Sex Anonymous. He does drugs, like pretty much all the issues people have. He's got a therapist on it. So,
and he's always coming up with a Band-Aid or a cut on his eye. He's always talking about fights. So
yeah.
We don't know. We don't ever see him get into a fight, but he's always talking about the fights he's in.
Oh no, they didn't have the budget for that. Couldn't show him actually getting in fights.
He probably got beat up.
So it's pretty clear that Detective Boyd is not going to fit in with these guys. Like he ends up having to fit and destroying a desk his first night in there with them, and he doesn't really want to talk. And he ends up kind of just walking out of the meeting. And when he gets outside, he sees some guys who are about to break in and steal his new truck.
Dodge Ram.
Yeah. As he's out there, then Tom Arnold's character, his name is where are we? Henry Wayne. That's his name, Henry Wayne. He steps outside to try and get Detective Boyd to come back in, and then he sees these guys. They tried to rob him for his keys, and then that's when the fight happened. What did you guys think of this fight scene?
I liked it, but like I said before, like this right here, this fight scene told me that we weren't going to get the old Steven Seagal Aikido too much. We were getting, they were trying to update his style a little bit. Because he did like a capoeira kick almost.
I did not
like
and
I
one
read
hand,
that was the first
one
time,
hand on the ground. When he was doing the
chops,
was
the first time he did wire work. That was, obviously he was on some kind of wire to do that move.
And it looked fake. It was all right. Yeah,
it looked awful. That was the worst part of that whole scene.
People, he's cracking arms. He's
throwing people into vehicles through windows. Yeah. That's Steven Seagal we love.
So I still enjoyed it, but it was, like I said, I was expecting more Steven Seagal Aikido.
Okay. So he beats these guys up, and then all of the Rageaholics come out. Go ahead.
What was that all about? Why did they all come running out though? Like the teacher comes out and they all just follow her.
Well,
they're addicted to rage.
I think Henry went in and got them and said, "Come on, check out what's going on." That's how I took it.
And the what is it? The lady running the class, she says, this is no way to handle our rage.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Because I think that's a perfect way to handle some rage.
Henry was all for it, because he said, "Screw that." They tried to pop us, So he wanted Officer Boyd the Detective Boyd to kill them.
Oh yeah, 100%. And then when they find out, he pulls out the handcuffs and starts handcuffing them.
Yeah, he's like, he's a cop. He gets to do this all
now
the time.
He's all excited. He says, "We're gonna have great stories for class." And the teacher's jaws just on the floor. She's trying to figure out, like, why would you send a cop to a rage-a-hole? That's not a good place to have rage.
Right.
So,
next scene after that, we get introduced to Latrell Walker, who is DMX character. And we see him going to the county jail. He's going there to speak to his brother, Sean. Well, we don't know at the time that this is his brother, but we see him going to see his brother, Sean. We don't know at the time why he's in jail. What he did, but it's clear that Sean wants to get out. He's not a street kid. He's not a thug. He wants to get out. He's tired of watching his back in there, and he's just really, really uncomfortable being in jail. Anything, guys?
Yeah, what's the actor that plays him? I always
Drag On.
Drag On. I was the DMX. What was it? What they call
Rough Riders?
Themselves? The Rough Riders.
Yeah.
I like the way he talks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I just really like the way he talks, and he's very profound in what he says, but he's just like get me out of here, please. He's real dramatic.
It's interesting you say that because at one point in time during his rap career, he had a stuttering problem. He stuttered.
That's why I think so. You could tell he's really been working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, he's more articulate than most, and maybe that's why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now we know. We don't know what the deal is with Latrell Walker, but we do know that his brother's in jail and he's trying to get him out. Sean is even asking, like, "What's up with my lawyer? What's going on?" Latrell doesn't know anything. He says he's trying to comfort his brother and just tell him to be cool and just relax.
To me, the way they're doing things, I don't know that they might have given up on a lawyer because they kind of had their own thing going on, their little network they were going through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So to me, I just kind of wonder if they gave up on the lawyer because the lawyer wasn't able to do anything. And then, kind of took matters into their own hand. So he just told Mo the red tape just to keep him calm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just guessing, but anything's possible.
Possibly, yep. The next scene. Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Latrell basically, hides his entire identity so it doesn't get back that that's his brother, so that nobody comes after him because of what he's doing. So.
Right. The next scene after that, we see Latrell and also Anthony Anderson's character TK. They end up going to a car dealership to get a new car. Now, this is not a normal car dealership. This is an expensive car dealership.
These are high-end cars.
Yeah.
What the one guy, that goofy guy that's trying to sell him the car, he says the lowest we got here was $75,000.
Yeah. And I mean, they were willing. They were going to spend more than that. Anyway.
Well, he went right to the most expensive one.
Right.
I mean, I think it was the most expensive one. I'm assuming.
Was it the Lamborghini or what was the other one? Porsche or Ferrari or something?
I'm not a car guy, so I can't look at cars. I can't look at cars and just know exactly what it is.
I read it on IMDb.
Mike, man, where Mike's not coming back?
I guess not.
Oh, yeah. Mike would know.
My favorite part of this whole scene is when TK he puts in the tape in the one car, and the guy turns off. And he goes, "What are you doing, man?" Mrs. Johnson was shaking her ass.
Yeah.
I just always thought that was funny. I'm like, I wonder how many times they did that scene without, like, how many times can they do that scene without laughing?
That would have been hard. That would have been extremely hard.
I mean, could you imagine that lady just being there like, what?
Yeah, and the salesman is really, he's not actually trying to make the sale. He thinks they're thugs. He wants them out. He doesn't want to give them a test drive. He doesn't think they can afford these cars. But Latrell ends up giving not the sales guy, he gives it to another sales guy. He gives him a
guy
bag.
that gives him the keys.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lets him start it up and everything. He don't even talk.
They toss him the money and tell him to keep the change. Man.
Hell
yeah. That was probably a nice, and he probably got a nice commission on top of that. You know.
Hell yeah.
He doubled his money that
was
day.
A good day.
Right. Anything else, guys?
Not about that scene. They take off. He says, "Get the paperwork." Then he just takes off in the car. What did they send the paperwork in the mail?
That's right. Movie magic.
I guess when you pay for cash, you just that's how it works.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like they don't know.
Never been in that situation.
Yeah, they don't know who bought the car. They don't
That's
know
what I'm
anything.
saying. I mean, it's movie magic, I guess, but it just that part cracked me up a little bit.
Yeah. Now this part was always weird to me. So the next scene we have Officer Boyd. He's just driving along, and then for some reason he's seeing some things that seem a little suspicious, and he just pulls his car over and investigates. I don't know too many police officers that would just do that if they're off duty. You know, I would think they would just go on about their business or just go home, or because he sees something that looks a little suspicious does not mean it's actually suspicious. You know,
You're right.
Anything could have been going on.
100%.
But he sees Go ahead.
He says that he's a magnet for this kind of stuff, but he kind of seems to be gravitating towards it.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
He always seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, but he's kind of put himself in there 90% of the time.
Right. He sees TK outside. He just sees him with some binoculars. That's all he sees. He also sees Latrell's yellow Hummer. And he just sees a guy like flicking cigarettes out of and he decides to pull up.
They've been there for a while because you could see there was like
a lot
20 or so cigarette butts.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know what that told them. Okay, so they're watching.
Exactly. So he takes the binoculars from TK and he looks at the building that TK is looking at, and he decides, oh, there's a drug deal or something going on in there. Let me go inside to see what's going on. And that's that's what we see. Latrell is talking to someone. He's talking to Matt Montini. Now, we find out later. At this point in time, we don't know this, but Matt is actually a police officer.
Yep.
And a fight happens between Montini and Boyd and Latrell. Latrell ends up leaving. He ends up running away.
Yep.
They do a quick little fight, but he ends up escaping. And then Boyd and Montini end up fighting, and then eventually, when he takes him outside, he tells him to check his back pocket, and he sees that he is also a police officer. And Montini tells him that he just messed up. How long was that investigation? Did you guys remember?
I think he just said like 30 days.
He said 3 months or something like that.
Yeah, 3 months, something like that.
Okay. And so now he's really in trouble, because now he just messed up an investigation. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time, you know, that had to suck for him.
Well, putting his nose where it didn't belong, more or less.
Right.
Because, I mean, if that was on the books and he had called for backup, they would have told him to back off.
Right.
So what I'm wondering, because what we know already now down the road, was this whole thing on the books or not?
Probably not.
Well, obviously,
he wouldn't. I'm just saying he wouldn't have gotten as much trouble if he called this in, got some backup, and we find out, oh, this whole thing's not on the books. But since he got in trouble, I got to think maybe it was on the books.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have gotten in trouble because they'd have been like, well, this whole thing was never sanctioned to begin with.
The other thing is they work at the same station. How long has Steven Seagal been there that he hasn't even met any of his coworkers yet?
Right.
He's never met this for a day. 1 or 2 days.
Was that his first day? Like,
yeah,
really get into
it seemed like it. It seemed like it because it seemed like he had just left from how the editing and everything went. It seemed like he had just left Rage Anonymous, and when all of this happened.
Yep.
So
and we see him. He got demoted. Now he's a traffic cop.
yeah.
And he
He's
is
directing
not
traffic.
doing a good job. He's
No.
not doing a good job.
No, not at all. Cars are smashing into each other. It's just it's all bad.
He needs some practice from Chris Tucker from Rush Hour.
Now this next scene is crazy.
100% crazy.
He goes into the locker rooms to change, and he sees other officers there, and it seems like they are seeing who can take the tasers the longest amount of time or something.
The highest voltage of taser.
Yeah, that is nuts.
No, thank you.
That's crazy. You know, being martial artists, we have done crazy things. One of the things I always think about you guys, when I think about the Hartley brothers, I think about Steak and Shake. Because you guys already know those peppers. You guys, I never participated in that challenge to see who can.
Oh, come on! You had to at least see one.
I never did it. I was like, this shit is crazy.
I'm the master.
I never did it. I think Trav probably did it. I think Trav probably did. Of course, the one.
Listen, when I got there, the record was 8 when I got there, and that was burger.
Really?
And then I got there and I ate 26.
26 peppers.
Listen, I did better than that. Then I came back the next year, and they wanted me to break my own record. And I said, I'm not going to break a record that I destroyed. So I said, if someone challenges me, and Jay challenged me, Jermon. And I think Jermon did like 30-something. So I broke it, and I shut it all down. And I think I did 46 or 50. It was over 40. I think it was 46.
Nobody's ever going to do that.
46. And that one, not going to lie, that one got me a little bit.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. So, you know, it's we're not strangers to doing crazy things, but this is just ridiculous. You know,
high voltage, man. Like 50 volts of electricity. Come on.
Yeah. You know, Officer Boyd doesn't want to participate in this at first, but they kind of tease him and talk him into doing it.
Peer pressure.
Yeah. And they actually didn't he say didn't Montini tell his guy to go to 25, but he went higher.
He told him to go start him off easy, but he went all the way up.
Yeah.
And so I said he went about 50K.
Go ahead, Greg.
Because even the big guy didn't. The big guy only took 25, so he took more than the big guy.
That was code when he told him to start him off low, and then he knew, you know, let's test him out here, see where he's at.
Yeah. And then a fight breaks out between these guys. But the fight is broken up pretty quickly by Michael Jai White's character. He's Sergeant Louis Strutt. He breaks it up. He gives him like some encouraging words, and then just kind of walks away. I thought, okay, this is who is going to be his partner in this movie. That's what I thought when
That's what we were all.
That would have been interesting. That would have been interesting.
You know what's messed up about that? Because I've seen Michael Jai White for years now, right? And we see him in things recently. He's still an actor. We reviewed one of his movies not that long ago.
Blood and Bone.
Blood and Bone. So when I see him in this, to me, it looks like he dyed his hair. And, you know, because he's so much younger. Like, this is 20 years ago, you know. So he looks so much younger, but it's like, but he doesn't look like, he still looks the same. You know what I mean? It's just that his hair is just darker, you know?
Yeah.
We also are introduced to the person who is going to be Officer Boyd's partner. I'm looking for his name now.
Isaac Washington from Grey's Anatomy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm looking for his show name.
Here it is. I didn't even catch that.
George Clark. Well, you know, he was also in Romeo Almost Die.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
you're right. Bad guy.
Yeah, he was the bad guy in Romeo Almost Die. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So we are introduced to him. He ends up being Boyd's partner, which is pretty cool. Like the commander or the captain put him with him because he thought that he would keep Boyd down and keep him out of trouble, pretty much. You know, almost like a watchdog. But that
the captain calls it a leash.
Yes,
This guy didn't seem like much of a leash because I don't know. He kind of went ahead and got in some trouble with.
He kind of seemed
Boyd.
like a rookie almost.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he
did
definitely seemed like a rookie compared to Boyd.
Yeah.
I think Boyd was more like a leash for him.
Right.
I think they're supposed to balance each other out.
Right.
I guess.
This next scene, I was a little confused on. I didn't know what was going on because we see Boyd go to a building. He ends up rescuing a girl, right? That was in the in the building. I really didn't know what was going on. Something happened where I was at.
Wasn't it a heist?
Drug bust.
It was a heist or a drug heist or something. So they were going to sell their heroin and get all the profits.
Okay, so why was he there? Because I thought he was a traffic officer. So I didn't understand, like, what was he just bored again and just stopped in just to help out, or I didn't understand.
He already thinks something's fishy with Montero.
Okay.
Yeah, Martini. So he went to see what he logged into evidence.
Okay.
And then he was following up on that.
See, there you go again. That's not your job. Once again, he's putting his nose in.
Agreed, but he's like a dog with a bone, man. Like he finds something and he's just gonna keep digging.
Mm-hmm. And Montini wasn't too happy that he was there.
Not one bit. Because I mean, they got away with the stuff, but he could have really jacked things up for them. But this family's happy because who knows what would have happened with them?
Right.
This was the janitor. Now, why does the janitor have his whole family there?
He needs help. Got to make that money.
Well, I mean, if it's his business, because sometimes office complexes, they hire outside businesses to come in to clean the offices. So it's not like they were probably working, for the like got a check from the building, So they could have been like just contracted to clean it. So if that's the case, if this is his own business, then he could have his family also working with him,
So. I guess that's crazy.
So yeah, my brother-in-law is a painter, and he brings his son or his wife with him sometimes to help him with the big units, so he can get more done and get more money.
Yeah,
kind of same concept.
So Boyd wants to know some more information. So he's talking with Detective Clark, and Clark tells him about Latrell Walker's club. And he's going to he wants to go there. Clark doesn't really want to go, but they end up going to the club.
Now this is TK's club.
Yes, that's right.
But probably funded by Latrell.
Right, exactly. I was wondering how Boyd got in, because I've been to clubs, especially clubs in Detroit. They just not letting anybody in. The bouncers just not letting anybody in. And it was a lot of people outside of the club. I remember going one time, my boys threw a party, and we had cash money here. This is my boys' party, right? So we get to the venue, we go around to the back, and he comes down to let us in, but it was too many other people back there trying to get into the back door. So he hands us our wristbands and tells us just to go around the front. And the Royce was there also. The Clips, they were also there outside trying to get in. Also, they couldn't get in. So me and my friend, we went around to the front to get inside. The bouncers would not let us in, and I lied. I said, "Yo, we already been here. Look, we got our wristbands in. We just let us back in." He wouldn't let us in. She said, "Just wait here for a minute. Wait here." So I'm calling my boy on the phone, like, "Yo, come down here and tell this guy that we're supposed to be here. We're here to work." And he's like, "Okay, I'll be there in a minute." My boy never came through. Now I understand it was busy. They had cash money there, but we never got in at all. After an hour and a half, I said, "Yo, I'm out. That's it." So to see Boyd just somehow bypass everybody that was in line and get into this club and walk.
Didn't he flash his badge?
I thought he flashed his badge.
I thought he was flashing his badge.
I missed that. If he did that, I missed that.
I mean, it doesn't always get you in, but apparently people are scared of that.
Yeah, definitely. And
I can't imagine people in Detroit being that scared of that, but that's all right.
So he gets into the club. He goes walking around. He's looking around, and he sees TK. And TK sees him. He recognized him because they had their little altercation. And I was wondering at first. I was like, man, why is he after TK all of a sudden? Because he tried to manhandle TK. And then I remember, like, he handcuffed him, and TK got out.
Took his grill.
When he left. So of course, I guess he still wanted to try and arrest TK. And then a fight breaks out between these guys.
Yeah, well, he's got the bouncer. He didn't even have to.
Yeah,
he didn't get a chance to go after TK, but he was handling those bouncers just no problem.
Now Latrell, he finds out what's going on, and he leaves out of the back door. And then when he gets outside, there's Detective Clark, and then they have a fight. What did you guys think about these fight scenes? Did you guys like them? You enjoy them based upon them being not a normal Steven Seagal?
The fight scene with the bouncers was pretty decent. It was okay.
Yeah,
not
watching
bad.
him try to figure out how he's going to defeat somebody twice his size and looking like they're on the juice.
Yeah,
figuring out all the pressure points and all the right spots to hit, which is his Aikido background and stuff like that. So I like that kind of stuff.
Now Latrell, he would have got shot, but his Clark got his gun, and his gun wasn't even loaded.
Right.
So that kind of tells us something about Latrell. He's not walking around with a loaded gun.
Right.
So what does that mean?
It's all aesthetics. He's, trying to play the role, but not really be the role.
Right.
But luckily for Clark, because now Clark just, he took a board to the back of the head. But also as a police officer, man, I would have thought he'd have been a little more, he should have handcuffed him before he searched him.
Right.
Because then that wouldn't have happened until TK come up from behind him.
Once again, the rookie thing comes into play there that makes us think it even more.
Yeah, but you know what? When that happened, like that kind of messed up Clark's head because he knew that he could have died right there. So when they go inside, he wants to know what's going on. And Boyd is looking through in the office. He's just looking for anything he can find, anything that can be a potential clue as to what is going on. And then that's when he finds the visitor name tag in the garbage. So now
when he went and saw his brother, right?
Yeah, Sean Rollins, yes. So he finds that, and now he's going to find out who Sean Rollins is, and then also he wants to know who is who is that?
Love you.
Who's that voice?
That's my son.
Okay.
It's going bedtime.
Okay.
Hey, buddy. This is my favorite because when Boyd's looking to find out more about Sean Rollins and TK and Latrell Walker, he's got to go find his buddy Henry again. And of course,
right.
Henry's at the Gentleman's Club.
Right.
With a mustache on, trying to be inconspicuous.
How did he know where to find him again?
Because he talked about it at the anger place a lot.
Okay. Also, in another bar, we also see Montini. He's hanging out with his crew, and we also see Strut there also. But once again, Strut is not portraying himself to be one of their crew. He kind of seems like he's like an outsider, but he's cool with everybody. Is what he's kind of seeming like. You guys got anything else?
Yeah, this next scene kind of gets me because Boyd goes to talk to the captain, and she's at dinner. She's on a dinner date.
Yeah, he was an asshole for that.
He really was.
He was an asshole for that.
That's because he liked her.
She didn't seem to mind though.
No, she didn't.
I don't know. That's not cool from her perspective. Like she really should have been like, you know what? Get out of here. I'm off duty.
Yeah, I mean he tells his guy her date to leave.
He said, "Get lost." I'd be like, "Get lost, my ass."
Yeah. And then he said something like, "I had to go to the bathroom anyway." Like, come on, man. Like, don't go out like that.
Yeah, but what was his ponytail freaking ass gonna do?
Yeah, he should have puffed his chest and at least tried
something.
He's not getting none acting like a punk.
No.
And he ate your steak? Oh hell no.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't touch my food. You're gonna move it on my chick and touch my food? Bye.
I think he took a drink of the wine too.
He probably did. Jackass.
Alpha.
You're not gonna show up at my dinner and act. That's not how it's gonna move. But that's all right. You know, it's Steven Seagal. Maybe I'll let him sneak by for a minute. But so let's skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah, I'm doing that. So now Latrell is he set up a meeting with Martini to go over distributing some drugs. He said
because he wanted 7 figures, and that's where the heist of the heroin was.
Right now, earlier earlier, Latrell wanted to know why the police were on his back. He knows about Detective Boyd, and he wants them done. Like, why is this guy following me? Why do I have this police problem? And he says he's not one of ours. And so they set this meeting up to meet the main guy. So they end up taking him to where the main guy is, and lo and behold, it's Strut. When he turned around in the chair, I really wasn't. I was a little surprised, but not too much. Too surprised.
I was. Yeah,
it was one of those. It was one of those moments because I remember seeing it for the first time where I went, "Oh, they got me." Okay, I'm pretty good with that stuff, and I'm like, got me.
Yeah.
Well, that was good. That was good. But now it's like,
they were pretty good at keeping you off track on that one.
Now, explain to the listeners about how they were going to smuggle these drugs, because this is something that I've never even heard of before. I don't even know if this is possible. I've never heard of anything like this before.
Through science, probably anything is possible. But what movies do, they just put some BS out there that maybe you could search, and maybe, I'm sure there's someone out there who researched it and tried it and probably figured it out, but I doubt it. They said basically there's a chemical formula where you can put the heroin with these chemicals onto T-shirts, dry out the T-shirts, and extract the heroin later.
Yeah.
Sounds feasible, but do we get a scientist to explain the science to us? Of course not.
You know what? One probably could, but what type of equipment would you need for something like that to happen?
And I don't know. And they said doing it this way and packaging it, then it becomes like dogs can't smell it, and so like you get off scot-free. You're just like, oh man, I'm just a shirt salesman. Just selling my shirts.
Right.
So sure, good idea. But I feel like, I'm not big in the drug world, but I feel like everybody would be doing this if this was an actual thing. So.
Especially after 20 years.
Exactly.
Maybe that's the reason why they put it in the movie, so that people don't start copying and trying to do that, because it's such a great idea. They put something unrealistic that nobody can try.
Yeah.
But then there's someone going to figure it out.
Well, yeah, Elon Musk, maybe,
So now, so Latrell is okay with it. He's saying, okay, fine. This is I'll work with you guys. Now we find out a little bit more about Latrell. Like Joe said earlier, Detective Boyd asked Henry Wayne to look into who Sean Rollins is, investigate him. And then he comes back with some interesting information. And we find out actually who Latrell really is. His name is not really Latrell Walker. His name is Leon Rollins. He is the brother of Sean Rollins. The whole Latrell Walker was just a fictional character, somebody who was made up with a squeaky clean background. One of you guys explain to the listeners and tell them who Leon Rollins really is, aka Latrell Walker.
Leon Rollins owns a bunch of .coms, which is how he made his fortune.
And so he's really a smart guy. He's not a street guy. He's a smart guy.
Nope, he's a smart guy trying to portray a street guy to get his brother off the hook. Mm-hmm. And he's got a lot of money. That's how he's bankrolling this whole operation he's got going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, completely, throws you off. He's playing two different characters here. He's playing the .com smart guy, and then he's playing I got to put on this show and try to be a drug dealer to get my brother off the hook.
Well, and then his second or third run-in with Steven Seagal, they have a small fight, but then basically he brings them in on the whole operation.
Yeah.
He shows them what's going on, and they're basically compiling footage about the police corruption, the heroin, and their idea is basically if the police don't do anything about it, they're going to upload all of that via his .com businesses, and they're going to take him down through the media any way they can, in hopes that it will save his brother in the end. Because somehow his brother got mixed up into taking the fall. Yeah, he got set up by the police.
He got set up because they wanted to keep one of their guys on the street.
Mm-hmm.
So he took the fall.
Right. And now there was a point where Detective Boyd is fighting them, and they end up catching him, and they end up fighting, and they're all in a van. They have him in this van, and I thought this part was pretty stupid. It looked fake.
Yeah,
it looked very fake.
Yeah, because people are getting thrown out of this van. Like he ends up eventually getting out of the van, and they're just kind of jumping out and rolling. I would have thought, like, based upon some of these movies we watched before, as soon as the van gets hit, the first time it should have blew up. This van, tumbles and is hit so many times, even when the van catches fire and they're inside of it. It doesn't seem like they realize that the van is on fire. You know,
that gas tank is real tricky to get to, man. It takes a long time.
Yeah,
for that fire to get to that.
And it's sliding forever. You know, the bad guys jump out and roll. They don't get run over. Like it was real weird. I didn't really care for that scene too much.
Yeah, and then he goes and he talks to the captain, and he says, she goes, well, do you got any proof for me? He goes, yeah, they just tried to kill me.
Right.
And then they're still trying to kill him when he's with the captain.
Yeah. Yeah. So they have a pretty serious chase between Martini and his guys. They're trying to, and they didn't care that the captain was there. They were trying to kill her too. They didn't care not one bit. Yeah. And so I couldn't wait for them to get out of that garage, man, because that was giving me that was messing with my head, man.
You know what killed me about the scene?
Yeah.
You know how all these big actors get like one or two one-liners?
Mm-hmm.
Steven Seagal's one-liner in this one was absolutely terrible. I always said women were bad drivers. And she said, I agree. Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's what you give my man?
What about bring me something solid? And then he said, I got something solid.
Yeah.
That was way better than I always said women were bad drivers. I'm just like, oh, they're making my man look so terrible.
I don't like how he talks. I don't like how Steven Seagal talks. Like he's almost whispering when he's talking.
Okay. Now I'm going to tell you something. Because I am before I saw this one thing, I love Steven Seagal. I've always enjoyed his movies. I always thought he was more of a real martial artist. Mm-hmm. But let me tell you something, man. After he kind of retired from doing movies, he did a show on TV where he's a police officer, I believe, in Oregon. And they love that he's a celebrity and that he's helping out and everything, but he's a little bit of a goober.
Yeah, Joe Rogan that's the best way. The biggest comedy that wasn't meant to be a comedy.
Yeah, it really was. I was going to use another word, but he has this whole Zen thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, there's a gentleman who's got he's coming back from something. He's got to redo his shooting test, and he's having trouble. And I swear this is probably something produced more than it actually happened on the show. But Steven Seagal was teaching him, okay, I got this Zen, and you got to do this, and you got to do that. And he's showing him, like, this method of using Zen to shoot. And it just came off as real... I'm going to say it, douchey. It just came real douchey. It really kind of made me think like, oh, man, I really like this guy. Now I don't know if I like him as much anymore.
Yeah. So the captain ends up getting in an accident and she ends up dying. Trying to.
And he just walks away.
He just walks away. He just leaves.
That kind of threw. I mean, I get it. Like people are still shooting at you, but dang, he didn't even like try to be like. is she okay? Like, oh no, she's dead.
I didn't think she was dead. I thought, okay, maybe she's just hurt and messed up. And he's gonna come back.
Her face was splattered on the windshield.
I saw it. I just thought she was gonna be messed up. I was like,
you're not walking away from that.
I just like, no, there's no way they're gonna kill the captain
she was
like this.
A part of the windshield. She's not walking away from that.
So he ends up getting away. He escapes all these guys just trying to kill him, and he ends up calling. Captain Frank, his friend, and he ends up telling him, "Okay, this is what's going on. Meet me where this big drug deal is going down." He wanted him to be his backup. He also goes and gets Detective Clark and asks him to come.
God.
Yeah,
and the big boss.
Yeah, well, he kind of surprised when the chief shows up, but it was kind of emotional.
He was lucky that the chief showed up.
He was. It was kind of emotional when he went to go get Clark because Clark was there with his family, and his wife let him know that okay, it's okay, go help him, go handle your business, So he leaves. And then when I saw that part, I said, "Oh man, he's not coming back. That's it for him. He's dying. That's it for him. He's not gonna make it out."
Nah, he just did he take one on the shoulder or something like that, or in the leg? Yeah. But he was good.
What's weird is at this drug bust, there's all these police officers, and they're all in uniform. That was so stupid. Like, why are they in police uniform? That made no sense at all. They all would have been in regular street clothes and not in their police issue uniforms.
I guess they just wanted Latrell to know, like, we're not playing. We are who we are. This is what's up. You either do business with us or not. Yeah.
So they show up. Now they look at the product. He has half of the money, and Strut is like, that was not the deal. You're supposed to have, was it $5 million? And he had 2.5. And he said, "Well, I'll give you the money when we get out of here." And they were not going for it.
Which is smart. I mean, come on. All you take my $5 million, then shoot both of us, and we're done.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Now Montini, he kind of wanted to do the deal. He was like, "Well, half is better than nothing." But Strut really wasn't going for it.
It was all profit. I mean, they stole it, so it wasn't like they had to come up with the money anyway to get the product.
He had that money spent in his head.
Yep.
And then that's when Boyd sneaks in, and he has Captain Frank with him also. And now we really find out who's really in charge.
Oh yeah, one last little, surprise for us. Frank's on.
They got us on that one too.
Frank's on the take. He says he's the brains of the operation, but I mean, everybody else kind of looked at him like, really? Like he didn't seem to do any of the legwork.
Right.
Nope.
Right. He turns the gun on Detective Boyd, and now we know what's going on. Big fight breaks out, and then that's when the chief of police comes in and screams, "Freeze!" That was so funny. The way he came in and just yelled, "Freeze!" Hilarious. I laughed out loud when that happened.
Yeah, he's a big dude with a deep voice.
Yeah, and he yelled at the traitor.
Yeah. And then everybody starts fighting. And now they all pick somebody to go after. Leon decides that he's going to go after Montini. Boyd is going to go after Strut. And then the chief decides he's going to go after Captain Frank. And they all go after these guys individually, and fight breaks out. I thought it was pretty. I mean, I understand why Leon went after Montini, but I did not understand why Boyd and Strut were fighting with swords. That I didn't understand. I mean, just to show off martial arts skills, I guess. But
Michael John White likes to show off his sword skills.
I guess so, but I would have rather just to see them two just do martial arts against each other and not have a sword fight against each other.
I agree, because they got two very different styles.
Yeah.
So to me, it would have been very interesting to see them fight one-on-one.
Yeah. So what did you guys think of this final fight scene?
Well, first off, did anybody count how many times DMX did that headbutt straight up move?
I thought it was just
at
me.
Least 3, right?
Yeah, about 3 times. Yeah.
That seemed to be his best move, I guess.
Go ahead, Joe. You about to say something?
I had a problem with. I want to know what kind of fighting DMX actually knows because he was taking it. He was giving it to Steven Seagal a couple times, and I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
I don't think Steven Seagal's losing to no random gangster.
And he really wasn't a gangster,
or .com guy.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, so he should have got beat up. You know, that didn't happen. Did you like the scene with him in the shotgun? He's throwing the shotgun up and using.
I thought it was creative. It was interesting. I don't know how well that would have actually worked, but you know,
I don't think it would have worked at all in real life.
I don't think it
would. Yeah. So, but anyway, he ends up beating Montini. I don't remember how all these different officers died, except for Captain Frank. The chief just came through with a shotgun and shot him up about 4 or 5 times and put him down.
He gave him a chance to drop his weapon, but he pointed the gun at me. He said, "You know what? You're fired," and shot his ass.
Yeah.
Another good one-liner.
There you go. Now Montini ends up trying to get away through a helicopter. He ends up getting in one of the briefcases, but he doesn't get away. Leon is there to stop him. You guys want to describe that ending?
He put the he put the ladder around like a I don't know, like something on the roof, and
like
pulled the helicopter down, and then he went up there and took care of business.
Oh, my bad. That was not Montini. That was Strut. That was Strut trying to get away, and Strut and Boyd, and he ends up falling and dying, and that was the end of him. Pretty good movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it. You guys got any closing remarks about this movie?
Oh no, just like they did in what was it? Cradle to the Grave. They had Tom Arnold
and Anthony Anderson at the end.
Anthony Anderson at the end, talking junk and being funny and being silly and just taking turns cracking on each other.
Yeah, so we find out that TK is now going to be the new co-host on Detroit AM. So they have their talk show. I'm assuming that Boyd decided he could have went back to his old precinct, but he decided that he was going to stay at this district and work with these guys. He was probably going to become the captain, because the captain is gone.
Yeah,
so
that would be suspicions. He did that on purpose to get her job.
Right. So what grade you guys give this movie?
I'm gonna go with a B plus. I liked it enough. I not all the way to an A, but I'm gonna give it a B plus. I was good with it.
I'm kind of stuck. It's either between an A minus or B plus. Like it's one of those. I can't think of which one. I mean, it was really good. I was entertained. I really couldn't cut it up. I mean, I didn't really have any complaints about the movie at all. What about you, Greg?
I like B plus.
Okay.
Definitely, it's one of my favorite Steven Seagal movies, and the comedy aspect I love. And DMX, pretty decent actor, and have nothing to complain about in the movie except for the little bit of wire work they tried to do to make.
I just hated that part. Yeah, I just hated that part.
I just looked past it. And said whatever.
Every time, so fake looking though.
Well, Joe, we already did Cradle to the Grave. We did Romeo Must Die. We did Exit Wounds. We might as well do the other movie, Half Past Dead. Let's do that one next week.
I'm good with it. I was just looking at that, trying to remember it, and I was like, "Oh, this is the one with the crazy Jamaicans."
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember that part. I haven't seen the movie in a long time, so it's going to be good to refresh. But this is the one with Morris Chestnut, Ja Rule, Corrupt. And Steven Seagal. So this is going to be a good movie, another good movie. But like I said, it reminds me. It has the same feel as this movie and Cradle to the Grave and Romeo Must Die. So this is going to be another good one.
Yeah, I'm good with that. That's great.
Cool. You guys got any closing remarks?
No, man. Good to see my brother on here.
That's right, Greg.
I know he listens. He listens every show.
I listen every Wednesday. I start screaming about stuff that I see on IMDb, and I'm all like, these guys need to go get on IMDb because some of the stuff you're asking questions about is all over there. And I go and look it up right away. And I'm all like, could you guys get me interested in some of the questions you be asking? So just
Listen,
keep up
man,
the
we're
good
here to
work,
have
man.
fun.
Thanks for inviting me.
We're not professionals. We're just here to have fun.
You don't need to be. I'm just telling you. I enjoy what you guys are doing.
All right, so next week we're doing Half Past That. You guys, everybody out there, stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you guys next week. And director, play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.